Hey YouTube, Everyman Prepping here today. Hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to talk more about the death of the US dollar at the hand of BRICS, which is the nations of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and how they're working to economically kill the US dollar. First, please like this video. If you haven't subscribed, please do and ring that bell. If you have subscribed, thank you very much, and please share this video with your friends and family. Now let's start looking at some of the articles here. The first one, India is to accept Russian debt and credit cards. In return, Russia is probably going to accept the rupee cards in their country. But let's see what it says here. It says, Indian ATMs and terminals may soon start accepting Russian mere debit and credit cards. In return, Russia is likely to clear the way, and that's quote unquote, clear the way, for Indian rupee cards to be accepted in their country. They're also in discussions for options for the mutual implementation of the Interbank Transfer Services, India's Unified Payment Interface (UPI), and the SPFS, the Russian version of SWIFT. You know, it's with the sanctions due to the Russian conflict, they were kicked off SWIFT, but they have their own system, which is actually better and more efficient in terms of financial aspects. And they're trying to grow it. And, you know, it looks if India and Russia hook up on this system, they don't need SWIFT. If you don't need SWIFT, you don't need the US dollar, and the dollar dies more. So look for that to come. They are also in negotiations expanding the use of national currencies in bilateral trade and discussing creating a new reserve currency with BRICS. I did a video a little while ago about how Russia and China are in discussions about a reserve currency. And now if you bring India into the mix, that's 3 out of the 5 majors. It's going to happen. There will be a new reserve currency. It will happen, which will further cause pain with the US dollar. So don't put off that it's not going to happen, impossible. It's going to happen. Continuing on here, we see that there are also discussions with Egypt, and they put China in here, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Cuba, Myanmar, Nigeria, and Thailand to accept the Russian mirror cards. I believe China already does, but if they're expanding to all those countries to accept the Russian debit and credit cards, once again, those countries don't need the US dollar. If you don't need something, it becomes worthless. So remember that. And it says that the Russian cards are already used in I don't remember pronounce this correctly, Abkhazia, Armenia, Belarus, Vietnam, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkey. By the way, remember, Turkey's starting to pay for oil in rubles. So once again, is Turkey really a NATO member? I don't know. Kind of interesting what Turkey's doing these days. Uzbekistan, South Korea, and South Ossetia. So Russia is definitely growing their financial strength, and what pushed them to do this were the sanctions, and it looks like the U.S. is killing their own dollar off with their sanctions. Next article. We see here, emerging markets are rushing to join BRICS alliance due to the high energy price persisting. It's pushing them to join an alliance that doesn't deal on the U.S. dollar, which is inflating. As we can see here, as emerging markets recover from COVID-19, the pandemic, and face financial headwinds due to interest rate hikes in the U.S., the BRICS group, which we talked about, who's already in there, they're looking to expand their membership and tackle these shared challenges. Of course, they're going to looking to grow. Potential entries have already been made to Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and once again, the NATO member, Turkey, or supposedly NATO member. And those 3 are already making applications. Like I said in another video, if Saudi Arabia joins, they're already helping China out. They're already pledged to make sure they're meeting all of China's oil needs. China's going to station military members in Saudi Arabia for protection, which is what the U.S. petrodollar was based on. Further instances of the U.S. dollar getting knocked lower in its status in the world. Then it also says that back in June, Iran and Argentina had already applied with support from China. So there's 2 more countries coming in. And then it says international media are reporting that Algeria, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Mexico's interesting. Mexico, right on our doorstep here in the U.S., Mexico looking to join BRICS. Does a lot of our manufacturing. They do a lot of the food production. So if you lose Mexico to BRICS, and they wean off the SWIFT, another huge blow to the United States. Continuing on, we got Nigeria, Sudan, Syria, Pakistan, Venezuela. They've all expressed their interest. So if we join all those countries together, the dollar's going to die faster and faster. Now it says down here, however, BRICS expansion could offer emerging markets the opportunity to build new economic synergies. What country doesn't want that? Right now, the U.S. walks around, with the big heavy bat, and they tell the countries what to do, what they're paying, what they're offering, and there's not too many synergies there. I believe BRICS is coming at more of a partnership point of view. They want to partner together, and a lot of these countries are going to take them up with that and get rid of the U.S. dollar and be a partner. And it says here, as of December of last year, that the BRICS nations accounted for 40% of the world's population. Nothing to sneeze at there, that's huge. 25% of the GDP, so a quarter of the world's GDP in BRICS already. That, is only going to grow when they add these other countries. 30% of the landmass in the world, and 18% of the trade flows. So they've got a big portion, and it's going to even grow further. And when something grows, something has to shrink, and that's the U.S. dollar's influence. And then we have here that the yuan-ruble trade in currency markets hit a daily record high in July of 1.2 billion, outpacing euro-ruble trading volumes. So China, Russia, getting closer, trading more, don't need the ruble, don't need the dollar. And I also said that Russia is also reported looking to buy the yuan, the rupee, India's rupee, and once again, the NATO member, Turkey, their lira, as a reserve and sovereign wealth fund. So they're going to buy those other countries' currency in their reserve fund. They're not buying dollars. They're buying those. They don't want U.S. dollars anymore. They want the other country's money. Very interesting. In early August, Reuters reported that Turkey, which we also did a video on, reported to bolster the cooperation with Russia by purchasing their gas in rubles. Continuing down here, we see that the U.S. dollar was down from 59.4% to 58.8% in world reserve currencies. You might say that's not very much, but it used to be growing. The fact that it's going down at a slow pace, and I think it's going to go at a rapid pace, means less dollars in reserve currencies. Those dollars come home. We get hyperinflation. We can't export our inflation anymore. Harder times for us here in the United States. Now, it goes on to say here that Brazil and India haven't shown that much enthusiasm for the expansion. I don't know if I believe that or not, but that's what they're reporting. And even it says here, nonetheless, the urgency to solve global challenges of food security, and they throw in climate change, may outweigh such concerns and encourage cohesion amongst prospective BRICS members. Concerns about global food security could prompt existing and new BRICS members to create a food exchange, including members' major exports, such as Argentinian corn, Indian rice and wheat, Russian barley and sunflower oil. That sunflower oil might also be coming from a certain country Russia is invading right now. Chinese grain and cotton, and Brazilian soybeans. Such an exchange could later include other emerging markets' agricultural products. So it doesn't sound like we're trading money for goods. It's going to be a food security exchange, a food exchange between these countries. That's how these food shortages are impacting the world. We're going to agree to exchange my rice for your corn, or my corn for your soybeans. I don't know if they're totally going to avoid going through, money exchanges at all, or is this going to be a straight country-on-country barter system? If countries are starting to go on a barter system, what do you think we're going to have to do between our communities here when it gets bad? So that's why we always talk to you. Think about getting some barterable items. So these two articles prove, and they're brand new articles, that BRICS is growing stronger every day, going after new members asking to join, how the food shortages across the world and the energy crisis is pushing people into BRICS. They're not pushing people into the United States anymore. People are running from the United States into the BRICS nations, where they have more of a synergy like it talked about, and cooperation. That's only going to put more pressure on the U.S. dollar, more hardship on the U.S. Americans in dollars. So try to insulate yourselves for this. First of all, you got to keep your prepping. You got to take care of your own food shortages, stock your pantry, get your 3 weeks, your 3 months, 6 months, your year's worth of food, as much water as you can in a way to replace that water. So you have security in that. You can barter those later on if need be, if you need something else in exchange, medical, ammo, whatever it may be. But at least you have your own food exchange at that point. And then, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but you might want to start thinking about diversifying from the fiat US dollar yourself, whether that be into precious metals, gold, silver, whether that be into crypto, whether it be into another commodity that you want to buy at this time. But you might want to look at diversifying away from what's in the bank into something that's a hard asset. Once again, being a hard asset, you don't really own it unless you physically have it. So, hold your coins, hold your silver, your gold, hold your keys to your crypto, hold your food. Food's a great asset right now. Yes, you eat it, but it also saves you a ton of money with the inflation. If you have suggestions, please comment below. What do you think about this article? What do you think about what's happening on BRICS? What hard assets are you moving into? What do you suggest people do? And maybe you have a great commodity or a great place to move your fiat currency into something else that you'd like to share with other people. Whatever it is, we can all help each other. And until next time, keep your ear on the ground and head on a swivel.